Hey everybody, I am going to review your first lesson with you, but I first wanted to read a little bit from the Design Basics text by David Lauer and Stephen Pentak, and I'm going to read a little bit to you about color theory, color mixing, and then color perception, and then I'm going to model the first lesson that we'll do tomorrow. So I'm going to lean my computer down so you can see what I have up on my table. These are from an oil painting class, but this is essentially one of the first projects that we'll be doing. We'll be doing the color wheel, and you will use you'll cut out an 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch square piece of paper, and then we'll draw a circle on it, which you can use your painter's tape, which mine's in the trash can, your painter's tape to draw the circle, and then you're going to have 12 equilateral sections, which have the primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors, and you're going to learn how to mix those. So your primary colors are red, red, yellow, and blue. Your secondary colors are flame red, your secondary colors are green, orange, and violet, or purple, rather, not violet, purple. And then your tertiary colors are yellow, orange, red, violet, blue, violet, yellow, green, and blue, green. All right, so I have my paper that I'm going to use, and I'm going to create a circle on it, and I'm going to show you how to add the information to it that you need. I bought some new erasers. I'm going to have a pencil. We'll have the paper cutter from Caroline. You're going to need clean water, not dirty water, and your paint brushes. I'm going to use one paintbrush, and you will use one paintbrush. I'm going to probably use a variety of them so that I can quickly show you how to do the assignment. And then you'll need your paints. So I was going to buy myself new watercolor paints, and I had about 20 that I was going to purchase today, and they were $10 a piece. So I ended up buying an inexpensive acrylic. And from my first video that I sent out, you all saw the watercolor set that I have. I've also got my other acrylics and my other smaller watercolors, and I went ahead and bought a new inexpensive set of brushes. So I'm going to read to you for a minute. I'm going to turn this down, and y'all can see how I have my my messy table set up, and I'm going to quickly read a little bit from the Design Basics book. It's not only the professional artist or designer who deals with color. All of us make color decisions almost every day. We constantly choose items to purchase, of which the color is a major factor. Our world today is marked by bold uses of color in every area of ordinary life. We can make color choices for everything, from home appliances to our bank checks. It seems that most things we use have blossomed into bright colors. Fashion design, interior design, architecture, industrial design, all fields in art are now increasingly concerned with color. Therefore, everyone can profit by knowing some basic color principles. Unfortunately, the study of color can be rather complex. I'm going to try to make it not complex for y'all. The word color has so many aspects that it means different things to a physicist, an optician, a psychiatrist, poet, light engineer, and a painter. And the analysis of color becomes a multifaceted report in which many experts competently describe their findings. Shelves of books in the library on this topic attest that a comprehensive study of color from all viewpoints is virtually impossible in a limited space. The essentials of color theory. However, any study of color must start with a few important basic facts. The essential fact of color theory is that color is a property of light, not an object itself. Sir Isaac Newton illustrated the property of light in the 17th century when he put white light through a prism. The prism broke up white light into a familiar rainbow of hues. This presents the spectrum of wavelengths visible to the human eye. Objects have no color of their own, but merely the ability to reflect certain wavelengths of light. Blue objects absorb all the wavelengths except the blue ones, and these are reflected in our eyes. Black objects absorb all the wavelengths, and white objects reflect them all. The significance of this fact for the artist is that as light changes, color will change. Color mixing. This is the bones of the beginning of our study of color theory and painting. Although color indeed comes from light, the guidelines of color mixing and usage are different depending on whether the color source is light or pigments and dyes. We'll be using pigments and dyes. Rays of light are direct light, whereas the color of paint is reflected light. Color from light combines and forms new visual sensations based on what is called the additive system. On the other hand, pigments combine in the subtractive system. This term is appropriate. Blue paint is quote unquote blue because when light hits its surface, the pigment absorbs or subtracts all the color components except the blue that is reflected to our eyes. Artists should be aware of both systems. The painter, of course, will be mainly concerned with the subtractive, whereas a stage lighting designer, photographer, and often the interior designer will be concerned with the additive process. Lights projected from different sources mix according to the additive method. I'm going to show you a diagram that shows the three primary colors of light and then the colors produced where two hues overlap. The three primaries combined will produce white light. Complementary or opposite hues in light, when mixed, will again produce an achromatic neutral gray or white. Where light from a cyan, blue or green, spotlight overlaps with light from a red spotlight, the visual sensation is basically white. Combining these two colors in paint would produce a dark neutral gray or black, anything but white. The latter mixture of pigments functions according to the subtractive system. The red paint reflects little or no blue-green or cyan, and the blue-green paint reflects little or no red. When mixed together, they act like two filters that now combine to reflect less light, thus approaching black or a dark neutral as the result. All paint mixture is to some degree subtractive. That is, the mixture is always weaker than at least one of the parent colors. So this is from page, it's from the introductory section, starting with page 255. So here is the color spectrum. And then this has, I'm not sure why, green, red, and blue as primary colors. But in my class, the primary colors were blue, red, and yellow. So I'll have to investigate why she told us something different than what a textbook says. So again, we're going to take an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of paper, draw a circle on it, and we're going to create this color wheel. So you're going to start by taking something that you can use, most likely your tape, and I'm going to come down here so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to draw a circle. And then think of it as a clock. You're going to have R at the top. You're going to have yellow to the right at 3 o'clock. And then the opposite side will be blue. You'll have green at the bottom. And then in between and orange will be at 2 o'clock. So at 12 o'clock is R, a capital R. at 1 o'clock, you'll have a little r, a lowercase r, and an o for red orange. Then you'll have a large a large capital O for orange. And then you'll have lowercase o and y for yellow orange, and then yellow. And then in between your green and yellow is going to be yellow green. And then to the to the left, so 6 o'clock will be green, 7 o'clock is going to be blue green. And then you'll have blue, and then you're going to have blue, blue violet, violet, which is essentially purple, and then red violet. And as you can see, I'm multitasking here, so mine's not very pretty, but you get the gist of it. So it should be more, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right, so the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to locate your flame red. I'm going to use scarlet acrylic. So I'm going to put just a dab of red, and I'm going to create, I like to fold my paper napkin, my paper towel over, make sure my brush is clean. And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to make a little streak of where the red is going to be. Okay. And like I said, in lieu of time, I'm going to use some different brushes since they're kind of clean. Then you're going to take your permanent yellow, if you have permanent yellow, or cadmium yellow will suffice. Any of your yellows that are in between a light yellow and a darker yellow. And then that's going to go in the yellow section. So I'm going to just paint that like that and grab another brush that is hopefully clean. So I'm going to put my cap back on, put that back where it belongs, and then pure blue. Again, my acrylics are not labeled that way, so I'm going to try to find a blue that is as close to this blue here. Okay, and that looks like it is let me double check. So I've got phthalo cyan blue, and I'm just gonna investigate and see which one is closer to that blue, or ultramarine. And get another brush. And I'm thinking that the phthalo cyan for me is closer to a true blue. So I'm going to put my blue in this section here. Eventually you ladies are going to do a triangular, equilateral triangle there. All right, so that's my blue. Now comes the fun stuff. So in order to make violet, violet or purple, you will take either your purple color, which is this purple, or you can take alizarin crimson and your ultramarine. So I'm going to, not sure what I'm going to do. Let's see what I'm going to do here. So I have alizarin crimson. So I'm going to take my alizarin crimson and my ultramarine, and I'm going to mix those two together in pretty much equal proportions. And remember, when you're painting, painting is not perfection. It is what you want. It's a creative process. So I've mixed the ultramarine blue, just a dab of blue and a dab of the alizarin crimson to make purple, because the purple that I have is, well, I actually have a purple that I could have used, but now you're seeing me mix. So I've mixed the ultramarine blue with alizarin crimson, and that's given me violet. And I'm going to paint that in the violet section. So that is violet. I could have probably used purple. I didn't see it. All right, clean my brush off. The next color is going to be, what am I doing next? We're going to mix lemon yellow and pure blue to make green. So again, I'm going to use my phthalo cyan blue, and I have lemon yellow right here, and I'm going to mix equal parts of that to create green. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right, so I'll move this over so you can see. So I mixed the phthalo cyan with lemon yellow, and let's see how this green looks. Yeah, I got a good green. So there's my green, and I'm sorry I'm not being very precise here. So those are my, oh, and orange. We're going to do orange, which is another secondary color. So orange is equal portions of your yellow, your cadmium yellow, and your flame or scarlet red. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, just a little dab will do it, and my scarlet, and I may need to add a little more yellow to that. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so I've added a little bit of yellow and red, and I'm just going to play with it and see how it looks. And probably need a little bit more yellow, lemon yellow, to make it a little bit more orangey. So again, you're going to use your lemon yellow, which I now have blue on. I'm telling you, I'm a very, very messy artist. I'm going to have to clean that up with some water. All right, so I've added a little bit more yellow here to get a more of an orange color, and that looks better. So there's my orange. Okay, now in order to make your red orange and your yellow orange, you're going to take your red and your yellow, and you're going to have more red with your red orange and more orange with your yellow, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take my orange that I just made and I'm going to add just a dab of the red to create the red orange. And oftentimes, you know, it's not that easy to see the difference. The difference is subtle. So let's see how this turns out. That is still more orangey. So I'm going to add a little bit more red. And see how, if this looks different. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. It actually looks more red than the true red. So let's get that scarlet red back out and dab that one more time and see if we can see a difference with it. And it's time for another paper towel. All right, where's my red? All right, so this is scarlet red, so I'm going to add that. So you can see a slight difference between the red orange, and then your orange. So orange yellow is going to have yellow with orange in it, which means that it's going to be in between these two colors. So I'm going to put my lid back on my scarlet, and I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to my orange that I have here, and see if we can get a lighter shade of orange. Still need a little bit more. Well, this is my lemon yellow. Use my cadmium yellow. See if that'll lighten it up a bit. All right. All right, so that should be, no, it's still looking red. And get your brush really clean, because that can cause your paints to not be the way that you want them to be, obviously. So I hope that I did. I thought that I maybe forgot to push record. All right, so more yellow. Gonna add more yellow to make orange yellow. All right, oops. So I've added more yellow here, and that is what I'm going for. Here we go. That looks a little bit lighter. So you can see that it's very subtle, the color difference. Really, this should be a little bit more lighter. All right. So the green that you created with your lemon yellow and your pure blue, we're going to add some yellow to it to make the yellow green. All right. And my paints are already dried up. So let's see if I can add a little water and get that green. So I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow, because we're doing yellow green here. All right. So I've gone to another little area. All right. So that's a good yellow green, and that's going to go right here. And it's basically like a sap green. There's my green. Now the blue green is going to be pure blue, which I was using the phthalo cyan with lemon yellow. So I'm gonna make sure my brush is clean. I'm gonna grab another brush, because these brushes are all not clean. And I really, at this point, need to clean my water. So I've got my pure blue, which again, I was using the phthalo cyan, and I'm going to add some lemon yellow. And I'm going to add that to another section over here, because I'm starting to get really messy now. And I am going to take my brush that I just dipped in the pure blue and mix the now it looks almost like sappy. So let's see if I can get it a little darker. And that looks a lot better. All right, so this is my blue-green, which is not much darker than that one. So I maybe need a little bit more blue, and it's all about experimentation. Let me add a little more of the phthalo. And of course, tomorrow you all will not be going as quickly as I'm going. I just wanted you to have kind of an idea. There we go. That's a little bit better. There, that's the color I'm looking for. All right, can you see that? So this is the green and this is the blue-green. Then we have blue. All right. So blue-violet is going to be the color that you're going to use is your ultramarine. That is considered blue-violet. And I'm going to add a little bit to my brush and put that there. All right. If you have pure blue, your blue is going to be probably a little darker than that. Then we've made our violet or our purple already. And then the next one is the red violet. And that's solely alizarin crimson, which I'm not sure what I did with that. Oh, there it is. All right. And that's your alizarin crimson. And look, I mean, I'm a painter and I didn't do a great job. You know, some of my colors aren't the way they need to be. My space is limited up here trying to video. So, you know, don't get frustrated. It's going to take some time to learn to mix colors the right way, and it just takes time to mix them to get the exact color that you want. So alizarin crimson is red violet, and that is what I'm putting in this next section here. And that would help. All right. So this is just an example of what we'll be doing tomorrow. It's not beautiful, but you get the gist of it. Once we've completed this, we're going to take another section of paper and do we're going to create an abstract prismatic painting. And I can show you what I did in my class before. Here's another example, and that's with gouache. So you've got your red, your red orange, your orange, your orange yellow, your yellow green, green, blue green, blue, blue violet, violet, and red violet. And you can do it this way. You can do it this way, which is really messy. You know, or you can do it that way. So this is just a prismatic painting using the 12 prismatic hues. You can do something similar to this. You could use circles. You could do a variety of different shapes. This was, I believe, it looks like it's a 6 by 5 with the 1/2 inch around the border. So we'll do this tomorrow, something similar to this, and we'll also do a fun landscape. The other thing that I thought we could do once you guys have done the wheel, you've mixed your colors, you'll be mixing your colors again to do just the prismatic colors. There's no white, there's no black on this, no gray. This is just the 12 hues on the color spectrum. So an abstract, a landscape, a bookmark if you want. And then I was thinking it might be fun and I'm not sure what your backgrounds are and what holidays you celebrate. But if everyone agrees and you'd like, I can purchase some ornamental balls, glass balls or plastic balls that are white that you can paint a design on after each of these. So that's the first lesson. I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. Thank you.